Well, what's rarity even mean? The point is I'm saying it's all subjective. The point is, as we know it, the economy has been operating off the gold standard arguably since the 1800s. So when people say this whole we need to go back to gold,
1970s
they're negating
Nixon took America off the gold standard.
In the 1870s, Nixon?
No, 1970.
Yeah, no. But as I pointed out, every time there was a conflict,
or something.
Every time there was a conflict and every time that there was a war, the nations always suspended the gold standard since the 1800s. And furthermore, banks had been authorized as early as in Venice as the 1700s to print money based on an assumed allocation of gold, even though there was no real gold to back it up. Because people were slowly realizing that money in exchange for goods and services was more important than the actual gold that backed it up.
That was the big thing that, was it Adam Smith came up with? That people working creates wealth, not hoarding, mercantilist.
Yeah, we can say that, exactly, and that's what happens with gold. People hoard wealth. One man can hoard enough gold to control the economy. If too much dollar bills, it's like when you buy stock. If one person controls too many shares of a company, the company can devalue its shares, do a reverse 2-for-1 split, and issue more stocks so more people can buy in.
It's the same situation now, though.
Cash rules
the fact that we've
around
moved away from it
yes,
means
sir.
That there's
True hip hop.
Particularly unlimited wealth creation at the moment, because if you understand how fractional reserve lending works, the fact that you can generate vast amounts of money due to very little capital. And when the gold standard was in place, it used to tie people down. There's only so much gold, there's only so much money you can link to that.
Meaning
you sever
that
link,
the 99% is a wider number. You're saying that the idea that we need to make fewer people who can control the wealth in the world is somehow a better option? Fewer people can control the gold reserve than can control the capital reserve. The idea of having a fluid economy, a fluid currency, means that more people can become wealthy over time as opposed to a set few who control the gold, who have always controlled the gold, and will always control the gold.
How is that any different to the situation we're in now, though? So the amount of money that's being created, the wealth is being consolidated.
Split. Inflation, oh my god, the annual 3% inflation is there to automatically devalue current money issued, therefore people who are sitting on it do not have the same amount of wealth who are people who are going out and earning it actively in the same year. I'll beat your shit!
Yeah, but arguably the people that are hoarding the wealth are earning more than 3% in interest on all their assets anyway, so they're effectively gaming the system.
Yes, and I'm the same person. I invest and I beat inflation. But we need to look back in time. We need to look back in time. The robber barons, the railroad tycoons, the wealthy elite. Those guys back then are the reason we do things now. This Ayn Rand shit. The state? Yeah, exactly. States. You British people with your states and your white wigs.
Committee for Managing the Common Affairs of the Whole Bourgeoisie, as Marx put it.
I didn't understand any of that.
The state is a committee for managing the affairs of the whole bourgeoisie.
Sure. Definitely. Absolutely. There's a little bit of Marxism. And I'm all about the idea that we need to develop, and you guys think that where we're at now is the pinnacle. It's not. We're looking forward to the future just like they were back in the 1700s when they told Venetian banks that they could issue their own currency on loan. The idea that maybe money isn't really about actual physical wealth, but more about the exchange of goods for services. So maybe we'll get to a point where money is really genuinely worthless, but we all still work for it anyways because, fuck it. We can buy a hamburger.
How can it ever lose? How can it ever become worthless if I say to you, give me 10 whatever currency and I'll do some kind of job?
It'd be more that the culture which the worthless money exists in doesn't reward you for accumulating money.
There you go. He got it. I like that. High five. Internet high five. That's the idea. It's
Sorry,
about
repeat
that
that
you
one?
cannot be... Oh, he's not
Explain
going to.
that again.
Repeat your brilliant.
Read
We're all
some
waiting.
marks, motherfucker.
I know, right? No, what he said was the idea that eventually we'll get to a state in our society where people will not be rewarded based on their accumulation of the currency, but rather on how they spend that currency. Like, hoarding it and having a lot of it won't mean anything unless you're spending it. And that's the idea. That's what
Okay,
we're
I see.
moving towards.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, we blame it on what do we call it? We call it consumerism now. That's the
That's
crude
actually
version
dumb.
of it. We call it, yeah, I know, Z
There will
guys
be
is
no
pretty
reason.
stupid.
There'll be no reason to have any investment banks.
Exactly.
Good.
That's the whole point. Right
Burn
now,
the bankers.
speculation. What did they say? Speculation is the root of all evil. I mean, hell, I'm an investor. I can tell you that right now. The fact that I'm buying into companies and holding on to their value until it raises, then I'm going to dump it and hurt the company for capital. That way I can get money. That's definitely not the way we need to go as a society.
Red, from which country
When
you
the
are?
revolution comes, where will you hide?
Serbia, with my friend. What's your name? You'll hold me, won't you?
Nikola.
Nikola? Nikola?
Yes, yes.
That's a shame your name that, because that's my favorite Russian name.
Nikola
I'm gonna hide with
Tesla.
Nikola.
Nikola
Nikola's
Tesla.
gonna hide me. He's gonna hide me in his hut with his vodka.
From which country
And
you
that's all
are,
I need.
Red?
Take a guess. I like hamburgers, and I don't like... Let me think. What's stereotypically
I'm
American?
vegan.
Someone give me something.
Muslim.
Do you are
You don't like
vegetarian
communism.
or vegan?
I don't like
Do you hear any
communists.
vegetarian?
I don't like Muslims. What else don't I like? Come on, tell me, guys.
Exercise.
Exercise. I hate exercise. Take a guess. I hate actually happening to vote.
Red. From which country you are?
I'm telling you, I'm giving you hints. I like hamburgers, I hate exercise, and voting.
David
American.
Bowie is afraid of it.
There you go. Now he's not gonna let me be in his house.
Do you vegetarian or?
He's already planning the menu.
Did he?
Yeah, I don't
No,
think there's
I
any
actually...
such thing as an American vegetarian, but
Actually,
Correct
you'll
me
be
if I'm-
shocked, but I'm not a very good American. I lean more towards vegetables. I eat meat
Oh,
more
come
out
on.
of necessity. Come
How
on,
can you
I
eat- how
enjoy
can you not eat
vegetables.
meat?
I'm not saying
Meat-
I don't. I'm saying I
Meat
like
is
me
the
some
foundation
vegetables.
of my diet. Meat is the
Vegetables are
absolute
the foundation of
diet.
mine. I could live on vegetables and rice before I could live on meat, because I don't know, I get bound up and I can't really, my morale goes down when I eat just meat.
down.
I
I'm
wouldn't
the
eat
opposite.
just
I
meat,
get
that would
grumpy
be-
if I don't have meat once a day. I need meat like all the time.
I love my meat.
I don't talk
Mm,
against
steak.
it. I mean, we need it. We need meat, but at the same time, I do like eggplants.
We need
A lot.
protein. You can get protein from tofu.
Right. You can get protein from rice, pineapple, wheat. Hell, if I slather some peanut butter on a piece of wheat bread, that's a complete protein. So that whole protein myth is just that, a myth. Meat is just a cheap, quick source of protein, complete protein.
There is no such thing as a Greek vegetarian. No such thing.
True. That's true. And you know what? I could not go without lamb and goat. I couldn't do that.
Goat?
And yogurt.
Oh, I love goat.
I'm not eating a goat before.
Aren't you Greek though?
Yeah, we eat lamb.
That's the same guy. It's a baby
It's not
version of the same thing.
It's a baby. You wouldn't eat a grown goat. You use a goat for milk, but you wouldn't eat the goat. Goats
Okay,
are
I'll
just
eat the
drinking their milk.
babies. Yeah,
Yeah, eat the
I'll
baby.
eat the babies. You've never eaten a goat? Have you eaten a goat?
No, never eaten a goat before. No, just
Oh my
lamb.
god.
It's more.
You're
It
out of your
can't be
mind.
as tender. It can't be as
If you've eaten
tender.
kebab, you've probably eaten goat. It's clearly not lamb that's on.
Goats are so delicious.
Oh, you
They're
don't-
probably
I
the
don't
best
have-
food in the world.
I don't have lamb kebabs. I always have either chicken or pork.
Aw. Pussy.
It's the way to
Nah,
go, though.
God.
Seriously.
If it wasn't for goats and pigs, honestly, I could be a full-blown vegetarian.
Guys, I have to watch my weight.
Watch it as you're putting it in your mouth.
Yeah, seriously, this is the most surreal game of NS2 I've ever played. I've never had this sort of conversation before.
We've been discussing.
It started-
discussing history, politics,
Yes, sir.
economics, and now food.
But more to the point, though, it started with an Oxford posh boy drinking
Yeah.
his sherry, and it has ended with the Southern American drinking fortified wine spirits.
Oh yeah, that's how it started. Actually, I think we began talking about the news. Actually, that's where it started. Talking about the news.
Oh yeah, that shooting,
shooting.
in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knew it would lead so far?
I did, actually, because I'll speak highly of NS players. It's why I can get away with making those Counter-Strike and Halo comments. It insults you all because you know you're better than that.
So the world's going to end in a few days. Anyone got plans?
I
Ah,
was planning on ending.
yeah, that's funny. The only time I feel bad about my alcoholism is when there's a special occasion. Because people are like, well, what are you going to do? And I'm like, well, I'm going to get drunk. Oh, that's what I do every day.
You know,
Really special for you.
I
Yeah.
remember reading that people were actually in the US making bunkers in preparation for the 21st.
That doesn't mean anything. We were doing that when there was a probability Obama was going to get elected the first time.
Oh,
We just do that over here. We're good at that. In fact, if we could turn that into a marketable skill, like we could say we'll come to your country and help you build bunkers and stockpile ammunition and SpaghettiOs,
the thing is,
we could probably
You need-
make a killing.
You could do that
yes,
right
but
before you
you'd have
invade
to be
them.
crazy first. You'd have to make everyone crazy first and then purchase them.
Look, I promise you that there are crazies in the rest of the world. They just don't have the kind of ambition that American crazies do.
That's
That's what I'm saying. It's a marketable skill. That's what I'm getting at.
you can sell it. You can easily sell it. You're just not safe enough. You need bunkers. That M1 rifle just won't do anymore.
No, sir. My favorite part is, here in America, all the people who do that shit, they build the bunkers, they stockpile ammunition, because obviously I know a few, and they're always fearful of the end of the world. At the same time, they're always the people who I know who are least likely to actually do anything about it. You know what I mean?
What, non-political?
No, I mean like they're the kind of people who would never go, you know, Patrick Swayze Red Dawn. They would never actually actively attack the enemy and risk their own lives. That's what makes America so sad, is that we're all talk and no backing it up. I mean, we have an all-volunteer military, yet we have one of the smallest militaries comparatively in the world. And at the same time, you'd think we'd have the largest
sense?
because all of our citizens... What's that?
It's not,
Second largest.
not really.
In what
it's
sense
not really
are you the
true.
smallest? I can't imagine you being the smallest.
It depends
You'd
what
actually
you mean.
be surprised.
It depends how
certainly
you
not
define
smallest.
that. What if you define
No.
it in terms of military spending? Then they are by no means
yes.
the
Number what?
smallest.
No, we are. We
So-
spend a lot on our military, but that's that's why people bring it up as a derogative, is because we spend the
That's
most
not
on
a
our
derogative.
military. Sure it is.
I mean,
We
it's
spend the
just
most
saying
on our military, and it's so low. Look at our major. Who could be our biggest enemies? We'll say China and we'll say Iran. We are a fraction of their military strength.
No,
Russia's
no,
not.
only
They're
on
our
ground
friends.
force. You're not going to land.
Active
You're not going to land
personnel.
though, are you?
In what
on
sense
China?
Iran
is an enemy
is
China.
the enemy?
No,
You just, like,
no.
Blow the crap
No,
out.
you guys are misinterpreting. I'm saying by number of people. I'm saying in America we're all
You mean
gun-toting.
troops per capita?
I want to defend, exactly, I want to defend America, gun-toting troops, yet so few of us actually join the military. So what I'm saying is, if you were to invade America, you would not see a rifle behind every blade of grass, as we like to say. You'd actually see a bunch of fat people on scooters willing to vote for
Yeah,
whoever
but-
you tell them to.
It's not about the number of people, mate. It's not about that.
I have to disagree, because anyone who's willing to actually join the military, in my opinion, has one step up over someone who claims to want to defend the country, but won't actually do it.
When we say defend the country, you mean, of course, invade.
I think those are different concepts altogether. I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
There's no defending.
Can't say so. Can't say so. I can't say I agree.
I'm just saying that there's like, you know, like 1 billion people in China, yeah. So they're
Sure.
not really like, they're not going to march all the way
China.
across, you know, the Pacific to you. You've
No,
just
that's
got
why
like a
I'm
bigger
talking-
navy,
no.
and you've got a bigger air force, and you know.
The point is about military
it's a
strength.
flip fight.
My
Oh,
whole
okay.
my whole comment was about the fact that, you know, the whole Red Dawn shit. Patrick Swayze, you guys saw that? The idea that Americans, Americans are like, if you invade our, if you guys invade our country, we're gonna get our guns and we're gonna kill you. I'm saying I don't believe that's true because of how few of us actively join our military.
Do you think the
That's my
Taliban
point.
How few of you can actually
where they got
walk.
the idea from?
Exactly. That's the other
They just
problem. Look, you can talk about, you know, the kind of casualties we've suffered and the kind of, you know, trouble we've run into in Afghanistan with the Taliban, but at the end of the day, the only thing you can compare it to is Vietnam, and that's the trouble, is the fact that even compared to Vietnam, it's still not really genuinely comparable. So the point is, even the people in countries like Afghanistan and Iraq who said, we'll bang our drums and every citizen will rise up, still have not risen up to collectively push us out. Because the point is, as long as the people are getting what they generally want, not enough of them are going to revolt.
So I read that Americans are claiming that they won in Iraq.
No,
What exactly?
Is this game popular at all? I just bought this like 2 days ago. Or today, actually. It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, when the hell did this game come out anyway? But like, Natural
January,
Selection
maybe?
1 was huge, and this is like tiny. I don't understand.
Well, they have a. Can you, whoever has that open mic, can you shut it off? I think it's Battle Snake.
University. Yeah, there. Serbia, are you still here?
Yeah.
Mikola.
It takes like a 3 gig processor to run the thing.
I know, you know
think
what it is.
instead of
It's-
doing a Steam sale, I bet what they do is they fix a lot of the bugs, put in a bit more of the content, and then have a free weekend, you know. Try and
What's
pull some
happening?
people
What's
in when
happening?
you can run it on a 3 gig instead of a, you know, a 4.5,
I'm really
and
talking-
people still can't
You
run
know,
it.
you know what?
No,
Join the
I've seen that.
anonymous.
Who's doing a free weekend? NS2.
We are all
Oh
anonymous.
wow. Not Mikola. He's not doing a free sale weekend.
They haven't planned a date or anything for it, but I'm sure that they'll do a free weekend
They
before
should
they
open
just
like
reduce the price and have a sale.
Should do a low
You know-
res pack or something.
You know, when they released this game, it was well, I'd still say it's not really worth releasing because it's just so full of bugs and poorly optimized and such. But if can you imagine if they published with EA? Everyone would have been absolutely on their case. They would have been on their case saying, EA, look at what EA done. But actually, you know, look at them as an independent company. They weren't published by EA. It's terrible quality. Absolutely terrible quality for a release game. Let's be honest.
But honestly, where did they come from?
I disagree.
Where did
with
they
you.
come from? Yeah, they came from a mod for Half-Life.
Yeah, I know,
so
right,
I think
of
they've
course.
come a long way.
You know, they have. But I'm saying, if in any other game, like say Battlefield, released at this quality, I mean, you wouldn't hear the end of it, really, would you?
I've managed to return
I
on this.
think you'll
on
find
the
if
amount
you
they've
follow
put
the
into this.
release, if you follow the release of a lot of games, you will find that it is not that uncommon. In fact, I remember that there have been games that were released and like no computers that were out at the time could run it.
Crisis?
Like on full options, so many.
Crisis.
Crisis.
Yes. So I'm just saying. You know,
No,
it
I
does
will
happen,
agree. I'll
but
say that though. But we need to give ourselves a pat on the back. It's all about the community. I mean, the kind of people who play this game are all like, we understand where you came from, we understand where you're trying to go, and you're working with us.
We're willing,
Well,
exactly, because they're working with us, and also it was cheap. We're willing to accept it.
Yeah, exactly.
As, you know what? Fair enough. We will take this poor quality, but
Exactly.
we understand
Nobody
why.
paid
Who bought this in the
$59.99.
beta?
No one paid $59.99.
who here bought it in the beta though? Me? I did. Anyone?
I
See?
did, yeah.
No,
So for
I
us,
only
it's
pre-ordered.
like-
I didn't.
Red.
I'm glad that
Oh,
we're
God.
playing, and I'm glad that if you don't like the game and you leave, I'm glad that we got your money. Huh?
And it's
So-
playable now. Beta was not playable.
Well,
Red.
it was.
I-
I got a 2.8 in
I-
mine.
The only thing Beta NS2 did for me was make me want to play NS1 again.
Red was stone. Red was stone.
You know, I have to play with a desk fan. It's that difficult to play this game.
Red was stone. Do you like Alex Jones?
How many active members, players are there?
I didn't hear what was
A
said.
bunch. Let's just all join teams. Let's actually play the game for
Well,
once. I think we all
active
said
players
what
is
we had
pretty
to say.
funny. I think if you look at like the competitive play, there's like 100 teams. There's like 1,000 competitive players.
On what? On what exactly?